In coming days, we will see the greatest manifestations of the Savior's power that the world has ever seen. Between now and the time he returns with power and great glory, and a major city yet to be determined in Russia.
Travis Wayne Goodsall. So in the news today, the church presidency has met with they're not getting his name accurately. They're putting his title. He's Alahashkur Pashazadeh. It's Islam, and so I'm thinking Hebrew connections, so never mind me. He is the Sheikh of Al-Islam. His headquarters is in Azerbaijani, but he covers the Caucasus region, which includes the Republic of Azerbaijani, the Republic of Georgia, Dagestan, Kabardino-Balkaria, Ingushetia, Chechnya, Karachay, Cherkessia, and Adygea in the Russian Federation. And he's the chairman of the Religious Council of the Caucasus. And so he's a well-honored man in the region. But there's some tampering that President Russell M. Nelson is doing. And he knows I know. And he knows I would have done this video. The Gates of Alexander. Alexander the Great, 300 BCE. The Gates of Alexander, also known as the Caspian Gates, were several mountain passes that came to be associated with Alexander the Great. Only the passage at Reggae, between Media and Parthia, which Alexander crossed while pursuing Darius III, is said to be linked with the historical Alexander, because it has to do with the second coming of Jesus. Gog and Magog. In 7th century Christian Alexander legend, the gates were supposedly transformed to a wall built by Alexander in the Caucasus to keep the apocalyptic nations of Gog and Magog. So if you hear anybody try to claim that Gog is Putin, the leader of Russia, and that Magog is the land of Russia, you know they're automatically lying to you. Because Gog and Magog were the sons of Japheth, son of Noah. And the way the Bible author writes it, the names of the sons are the names of the lands. And so Gog and Magog are lands in the Russian region. And thus Russia and Ukraine. And they're called apocalyptic nations because of Ezekiel chapter 38. You can see the screen. I've been trying to get the computers to work, but It looks fine on this screen. It's a red screen. So it either means that the screen is corrupt, or the drivers need to be reinstalled, or some other technical thing that I just don't know and don't have the money to pay for a professional to fix, let alone pay for a replacement. Anyway, Ezekiel 38. So that puts a big damper on my plans to speed up things, as we're in the final year of the latter days. Thus, Nelson is also poking the bear to get things going. The chapter headings were put in by Bruce R. McConkie. And so this is his insight as an apostle, being privy to their secret, sacred knowledge that I exposed in this book. The battle of Gog and Magog against Israel shall usher in the second coming. Oh, what do you know? The war in Ukraine. It's ushering in the second coming. Jesus is coming, guys. Aren't you excited? The Lord will come amid war and pestilence. All men shall shake at his presence. And so, yeah, the way the English translation is, I can see where they made the mistake of assuming that Gog was a person. And so, here's where Islam comes in. A similar narration is mentioned in the Al-Kahf, the cave, the 18th chapter of the Quran. And here Nelson is poking the bear of the leader of Islam in the Caucasus regions. According to the Quranic narrative, Gog and Magog were walled off by Professor of the Two Horns. I'm not going to try to pronounce the Arabic. A righteous ruler and conqueror who reached the west and the east. The barrier was constructed with melted iron sheets and covered with copper. So, yeah, it has Islamic importance for the second coming too. And yeah, it's believed to be Alexander the Great, as they explain further on down. Gorgon. Okay, so there's that. I did that, and yeah. And so what was Nelson doing? Well, he gave him a Book of Mormon in Islam, and he gave the president a picture of fruit. Not a picture, but a painting picture. Painting of fruit. It's a nice painting, but, you know. And so they're leading us to believe that it was an exchange of religious freedom information. He concluded a 4-day visit, so it's February 28th to March 3rd. So yeah, I've been driving by riding by on the tracks train, going to get food. Let's see. Stops at Welfare Square, the Conference Center, BYU, Utah State Capitol, local Jewish and Muslim communities. Poking the bear. He was at the Grand American Hotel where he was staying. He says, I feel that the Church of Jesus Christ demonstrated a fraternal attitude towards us Muslims. This is what the Almighty ordered to all of us, all humankind. A fraternal attitude toward Muslims. Remember, he's Islam. The Almighty is Allah. It's all about Islam. People have to bow the knee to Islam, or you're a heathen. And we do the same. I wish for all over the world, to follow this right path, this path of God. I don't know if Nelson fully grasps that, but this was a business deal. Don't be fooled into thinking this was, learn about the church and we'll learn about you. No, this was a business deal. Because again, he's going there as Nelson has to demonstrate a fraternal attitude toward Muslims. Understand this. When they say they want peace with Jerusalem, they mean after Jerusalem is exterminated. You have to understand the cultural context of what they speak. Just like the Saudi Arabian princess. The church told us it was all about, sharing values and common ground. And then she gets up and talks about another visit that she had made, and she said it was for business. All she does is business for the benefit and priority of Saudi Arabia. She uses other people, even if they're the enemy, for the benefit and blessing of Saudi Arabia. Likewise, for all of Islam, for their benefit, not for the church's benefit. But if the church gets compensated so that the particular country or Islamic religion can be benefited, they will do a business arrangement. But again, they see themselves as the one true church, just like Nelson. So do not think that this is a conversion opportunity here. But yeah, it would be hilarious if a temple is announced in Azerbaijan in April conference. Unfortunately, the government of Azerbaijan and even Georgia is authoritarian. So yeah, the church is dealing with authoritarian governments again, but in this case, the religious leader in authoritarian governments. There was also a Catholic, was he a cardinal or a... There he is. David Bednar greets Vladimir Fekete, don't know how it's pronounced, Apostolic Prefect of the Catholic Church of Azerbaijan. Okay. We can check that. An apostolic prefect is a priest who heads what is known as an apostolic prefecture, a pre-diocesan missionary jurisdiction. Okay, so it's a missionary area. He's a mission leader over a certain area of Azerbaijan. And so similar to an apostle, but they don't want to call him an apostle. Because they died and they were not replaced. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. The church has already been involved in trying to spark the war that would cause people to think the second coming has happened. But there's another interesting thing on the front page of the website, if it'll let me get there. And no, it has nothing to do with gone. Where is it? Seriously? Oh, that's because it's the church news. Gotcha. There we go. The conference message for this week is seeing more of Jesus Christ in our lives. This was going to be a separate video, but it has to do with what they're plotting. In Mormon theology, Heavenly Father and Jesus have bodies of flesh and bone, as tangible as man's. And therefore, they must follow the laws of physics, though Joseph Smith's visionary accounts, if taken literally, defy the laws of physics. Which is why they're visions, but the church claims they're literal history. And so there's an automatic contradiction. And because it's a contradiction involving a supernatural phenomena, it is discarded as unsound. Can't be true. It's not real, because you're in utilizing something that's not real, supernatural. And so what they're saying in the text of this title is that we're not actually seeing the physical Jesus Christ. We're seeing his impact, his influence in our lives. And so this is kind of misleading to Mormons in that they are taught that Jesus Christ is real, defying the laws of physics, and yet supposed to be adhering to the laws of physics at the same time. And so Mormons then deny science and say, there are science laws that we don't know yet, and we'll eventually know when it's the right time. No, we won't. If it doesn't follow the laws of physics, it's not real. Quit trying to change science. And so with the second coming, the church will have to change the name. They can no longer be called the Latter-day Saints. Duh, right? Did you ever think about that? And since Nelson has already revealed these are the latter days, I still have to find that clip. I didn't get the clip. I put it in a video and I didn't save it as a separate clip. I still have it. I just have to find out where it was again and get the clip. It's like Oakes's Trust in the Lord. I have his talk, but I've never made the clip about polygamy yet, after using it multiple times for polygamy. It takes extra work, which would make my life easier if I were to do it first, but nonetheless, I'm way behind on projects, and that doesn't help me. And so, how then is the church going to trick Mormons into supernatural Jesus? And by the way, he was created by Constantine as supernatural, thus not real. Created by Roman Emperor Constantine, 325 CE. Not the Roman period time before the Temple of Jerusalem was destroyed in 72 CE. No, Christianity was created by Roman Emperor Constantine, thus Jesus was created with the creation of Christianity by Roman Emperor Constantine. Thus, the older scriptures that use the character name Jesus is not a real person. You cannot use Christianity created with creation of Jesus in 325 CE on older documents. That's what's called an anachronism. You can't do it. They are Jewish scriptures as books of Revelation for the latter days. Thus, Jesus is a type and shadow, a symbol of the Jewish Christ. And Joseph Smith, embracing Judaism, Kabbalic Judaism, adds to that and says, yeah, he's going to be a Mormon. But you're stuck on Jesus, aren't you? Because you refuse to accept the truth. Constantine created Jesus. And so he's not coming for a second time. It's the first coming of a mortal man, who will be a Mormon, according to Joseph Smith, who will be here right now. You can see more of him because prophecy says he's in Utah, trying to save Mormons out of the great and abominable church. How are you doing with that, Mormons? Are you hearkening to him? Or are you choosing utter destruction? Because you like this Jesus character of Nelson. Nelson's a good man. He wouldn't lead us astray and sabotage us and set us up for failure. Withhold our tithing fire insurance. It's the bicentennial year of the day that shall burn as an oven. Did you know that? No, because Nelson hasn't told you yet. You're not studying your scriptures. And so, yes, he's got to pull a con. And this is the con. And I warned you that this would be the con. And here it is, the con. You're supposed to see his influence in your life. You're never going to see him. They're going to keep talking about how Jesus is great, Jesus is wonderful, and you just need to have faith so that he can heal you, he can bless you, he can give you peace. The prophetic message. but you're never going to see them. And so they're pulling what the Smiths did to Martin Harris. Oakes, I guess, is getting revenge for what they did to him. But he insisted on being a part of the Book of Mormon if he was going to pay for the publication. And so Joseph Smith was his babysitter. And that was it. That was all. There was no plates of gold. There was nothing. And so Martin Harris had to be convinced that it was real so that he can be kept out of the way so that the book can be finished and published. But he stole the 116 pages that Joseph Smith had copied to placate Martin Harris, and that put the whole operation at risk because there are people trying to find those documents and murder whoever has them. And so it's not the same thing, Oakes. So, but you got to be watching my channel to know the real church history and understand why the Book of Mormon was even produced in the first place. And so, yeah, this is what to expect. They'll do the war so that Mormons, Christians, Islam can all believe, even Jews, can believe this is it. These are the latter days. And then, whoop, they pull the football out from under you. They pull the rug out from under you, whatever analogy you want to use. Because, I've gone over it with you, there was a Scottish Rites Grand Master, he wrote the book, Morals and Dogma. Oh my God! He wrote the letter to Giuseppe Mazzini. I can't even remember that guy's name. Are you kidding me? No, not Benito. No. Morals and Dogma. Albert Pike. Yeah. He specifically said, we're going to destroy the world. We're going to destroy Christianity and Islam and Judaism in the latter days. It's now. This is it. They've already got it in motion. It's already in the works. To hype up Christianity. Wow, that worked, didn't it? To believe that this is the second coming, that Jesus is coming, and then they're going to pull the wool out from under, whatever analogy. And all of Christianity and Islam, Judaism, will just be crushed spiritually, morally, ethically, physically, mentally, emotionally crushed. Because they will learn that their religions were wrong. And then the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will step forward to take over. He says that in there. And if you're having trouble understanding, I refer you to the Salt Lake Temple doors. There's the keystone. And the keystone means the doctrine that is taught within. Exactly as Albert Pike described. And so you will not see more of Jesus. Literally. It will be spiritually. And I have warned you, and you refuse to listen. And Nelson is poking the bear now.